All right, welcome to the channel, everybody. This is ASAP Grim, and it's kind of future ASAP Grim. I'll explain that in a minute. This is the intro video for our next Chronicle, Chronicle number 6, in Elden Ring for Volcano Manor. So let's get the primary purpose out of the way up front and center, and that's a game ratings, content briefing, so that you know what's coming your way and you don't get surprised by anything. This game, this will be an abridged content briefing, by the way. I have more in-depth ones in earlier Chronicles, particularly Chronicle number 1 of whatever game I'm doing. But ESRB officially gives it a mature 17 plus rating for blood and gore, language, suggestive themes, and violence. And real quick, it says it's an action role-playing game in which players assume the role of a character trying to retrieve a magical ring and become the Elden Lord. And there are things like cries of pain, splatters of blood, and impact sounds. There's medieval-style combat with things like swords and spears. And you can get a little bit of gore. Well, a little bit. You can get some gore in this game, and it's a general nightmare. It's a beautiful environment, but there's a lot of nightmare type, I guess, nightmare fuel in this game, in my opinion, and its artistry. So you can find things like severed arms hanging from ceilings, severed fingers, tongues. One boss character cuts its arm off, things like that. And then my go-to place is commonsensemedia.org, and they gave it 4 out of 5 stars and rated at age 15 plus. Intense fantasy has brutal, bloody, medieval style combat. So that should give you a snapshot of what kind of stuff you're going to run into. And let me tell you, the reason this is kind of ASAP Grim from the future is that I have made some videos already. It was all meant to be part of episode 1. It was basically a briefing of what the plans were, and then a loot run, a gameplay loop. And that was actually 2 separate kinds of loot runs. One was for several items, and the other was for specifically the Tree Sentinel armor set. And I thought that I could condense all that down to about an hour. I think I was way off the mark on that. So instead, what I'm going to do is I am going to wrap this video right here up and combine this with my briefing portion that I was planning for episode 1. So you're going to hear me talk in terms of that's episode 1, and there's going to be gameplay content tagged on and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and cut this right here, and we will segue right into my pre-recorded video. And this is the intro again for Chronicle number 6, which is going to be going over Volcano Manor. All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am ASAP Grim. This is the 6th Chronicle that I've done in Elden Ring. This is episode number 1. It's a little bit unique. I'll explain that to you in a minute. We're doing Volcano Manor, I think. I have to say I think because I'm kind of doing a blind playthrough here. Whenever I was doing my Liurnia of the Lakes Chronicle, I was researching stuff for Raya Lucaria Academy. Is that right? Anyway, in the academy, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I found that actually a user helped me out. A user told me about taking the water wheel down to the bottom. And I had already received in-game guidance on that from patches about what to do. And it created a shortcut, like a back way into the Volcano Manor. If I can't find a way through this way, then I'm pretty sure there's another way that I will have already uncovered, and we're going to be getting into that. So this episode here, why is this unique? Well, because I'm going to kind of give you a recap of where our character's at, what I'm aiming for, and then in this episode, we're going to be doing kind of what you might call a mini loot run to try and get some of the things that the build calls for. And that's actually going to take us into the Altus Plateau. Let's go ahead and move forward. This is our stats goal. recall that I am following the Last Sentinel build by Frowny Gaming on YouTube. Once I saw this, I completely fell in love with it. It's absolutely my playstyle. I totally like it. But I do want to say I am recognizing that this is probably a build where you're aiming to have this fully functional for a New Game Plus playthrough. And I'm totally fine with that, to be quite honest. And the reason that is that there's a number of things, a lot of the equipment actually, and the spells and stuff, you don't get them until very late game. A lot of it really is like literally the end game. And so that's just kind of how it is, you know. So right here are in the middle here, end stats. This is what you are aiming for whenever all is said and done. And you can see he is level 150. I think we are, well, I can't remember, but we're going to see here in a minute. I think we're 87. You're aiming for vigor of 60, endurance of 37, strength of 55, and faith of 30. So that's the overall objective for all of these Chronicles. That's the end game. That's what we're looking for before starting a New Game Plus playthrough. And then where I am at right now is vigor of 40, endurance of 25, strength of 30, and faith of 24. Now, I mentioned we're going to be doing a mini loot run through the Altus Plateau. I am almost certain to go do a Giants run while I'm listening to some podcasts in the background, just grind up runes and spend all of those. We're going to need another 4,000 to buy a spell. So I'm aiming for 50,000 probably. And then that way I can feel safe about losing runes. You know, we'll just grab another level. I'm going to put another point into endurance. That's going to help our equipment load. And so I'll be 40, 26, 30, 24. The reason my faith is higher is because I started, before I found his build, I started this character with the idea of playing a high faith build. Then once I found his Last Sentinel build, I was like, oh no, wait, that's exactly what I want. And I was already up by that point in time at faith 24. Okay, moving on. The very first thing that we're going to go after when we get into the Altus Plateau, before going to clear out the Volcano Manor, is the Great Star's weapon. It's a great hammer, as well as the Icon Shield, which you'll notice only does 95% physical block, but this thing gives you passive health regeneration. And if you watch his video, you'll see why all of this works really well together. Right here is a snippet of the map of the Altus Plateau. It's the northern area of it. The Great Stars is in a convoy that kind of paths around here, I believe. These areas right here, maybe this road too, I'm not sure, but certainly around these areas, I'm almost positive about that. And the Icon Shield is found in this building right here. So we're going to go snag both of those. Bam, bam. Those are the two primary things that I'm after, and we're going to get them right away. So that's fantastic. Moving on, we'll take a look at Seal, our Finger Seal, and our Ash of War. Now he goes after, because for him, he's squeezing every ounce that he can out of this build. And so he is pressed to the gills when it comes to weight limit. And what helps him a lot is getting a 0 weight. If you look at the right on the bottom for the Golden Order seal, it says weight 0. And whereas the Claw Mark seal on the bottom left of its picture, you see weight 1.5. So it's really important for him to get weight at 0. Well, we're just going to put another point into endurance then. We're going to do whatever we got to do, because the Frenzied Flame seal is in a place called, let me unlock my display and then Alt-tab us. It's here. It's in this Halig tree area, right? And I don't have a hard and fast rule, but I do have a guideline where I'm trying not to go into zones that I haven't organically made my way to on my own. I know it's possible because I started out playing Fighting Cowboys walkthrough guide, and the beginning of that guide takes you all over the place to get stuff at level 1. I mean, you're just dip, ducking, dodging, and diving to get these things. And so I know that that's entirely possible, but this is my first playthrough, and I want things to go kind of at least somewhat coherently. I won't, like I said, it's not a hard and fast rule, but it is kind of like a rule of thumb. And so until I can get here where the game just kind of brings me there, I don't want to try and just go do research and find out how can I cheat my way into here. I don't know that that's really a correct way to put it. It's probably not, but do you guys get the concept of what I'm trying to get across? I don't want to go here until something in the game kind of prods me to go there. But let me bring us back to here. The other thing that we're going to get is the Prayerful Strike, and that's the Ash of War. And right next to the Prayerful Strike is actually, let me unlock my display again. Okay, if we zoom in, let's see, Altus Plateau. So I haven't picked up grace sites or anything, but I do know that I have entry points somewhere along here. I think I have a couple, and we can ride through. I actually tested this out already without fighting or looting anything. Everything's kind of pristine. I've left it all alone. I didn't pick up any grace sites, and I was able to find my way all the way around to around here, and that's where we want to go. Is it here or is it here? It's here. And the Prayerful Strike, it's going to be right in this little valley ravine thing. And then right over here, without having to fight a single thing, all you got to do is loot a body. And that's where we can get the Golden Order Seal. Now, I can't even equip this. It's got a requirement of Intellect 17, and I don't have it. But if we go with the idea that I said earlier, that the more I look at this build, the more I see it as being a New Game Plus build that we're using our original playthrough to get to, but it's in preparation for New Game Plus playthrough. Well, we'll already have the build put together. We'll be level 150, I guess, and we'll have all this stuff put together that he told us about. And from there, I'm thinking I can pump faith and I can add these fundamentalist incantations, and we can have a little bit more offensive output with spell slinging, and we can use this Golden Order Seal at that point in time, because we'll still be gaining levels and we can put points in and stuff like that. Unless I'm misunderstanding something. But because it's right there next to Prayerful Strike, I'm just going to pick it up right now so I have it in the inventory. Okay, so that does it for Seal and Dash. Let's go to Talismans. All right, first of all, if you look to the left, this is a screenshot capture from Frowny Gaming's video explaining this build with a few things added in the overlay to show where my character's at. So first of all, you see the red arrow that he's using to point to his talisman row, and he has 4 talismans. I only have 3 right now. And that middle one, the second one, is used for my arsenal charm, and I need it right now in order to use my shield and my weapon. To be able to one-hand my weapon, I need to have that arsenal charm loaded up. And so we've really only got access to 3 right now. Now, I already have the Erd Tree Favor. He wants us to have Erd Tree Favor +2, but that you have to go to the Royal Capital for, and I don't want to go in there right now for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. I'm not supposed to be there, however you want to phrase it. I'm not there yet. But I already have the lower level Erd Tree Favor, the lower version of it. He wants us to have Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. Well, you have to go to... Oh, I think this is in the Halig Tree zone also. Crimson Amber Medallion. There are 3 versions of this. The very low-level base version, I can buy that from a merchant over by Castle Morn, I think it's called. It's located in the Weeping Isles, the southern part of Limgrave. We can just go, and we're going to do that. We're going to go to the merchant. We're going to buy that talisman so that I have it on hand. But I don't think I can fit it in right now because I need the arsenal talisman loaded up instead. The second version, just regular Crimson Amber Medallion, that's going to be found during this Chronicle. It's in the Volcano Manor. And then the final version, the third version, Crimson Amber Medallion +2, is found, I believe, in the Royal Capital. Blessed Dew Talisman we've already got. I've got that equipped right now. So that's it for talismans. We have the base Erd Tree Favor. We're going to have access to the very base Crimson Amber Medallion, and then during this Chronicle, we're going to find the middle tier version. We already have the Blessed Dew Talisman, and the +2 versions, as well as the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, are out of our reach at this point in time. And I also only have 3 slots. So moving on, these are the incantations. Now, his video goes over how you pair these up because there's offensive and defensive uses, and they're combinations. They're like 2 or 3 that you would cast, and you need to get used to what situations you would cast these things in. It looks like it's set up very well so that you're actually, like, some of them serve dual roles. They're both offensive and defensive. So really, you're only changing one of those. And so he set it up really well, but you still probably got to practice it. That said, I already have Flame Cleanse Me. This cleanses us of poison and rot. So I have that one. Black Flame's Protection is available at Sir Gideon Offner after we've gained the 2 halves of the Halig Tree Medallion. Now, this is what I was talking about. So this is attainable. I checked it. He has this dialogue option available. So that must mean I have both halves of that medallion, and he's going to talk to us about, it's called a secret medallion. And so he's going to go over that with us. That might be what opens up Halig Tree. I'm not sure. If it does, then we might have access to a few other things, right? But I don't know for sure. What I do know is that Black Flame's Protection will be given to you by him whenever you complete this dialogue. Then there's the barrier. Oh, yeah, let me tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 5 right here, these are all resistances. I think this one does physical resistance, for example. This is fire resistance. This is lightning. This is holy resistance. That leaves one more, and I don't know what it would be, rot or poison. But Barrier of Gold is going to protect you against another one. And these are the ones that you're cycling between depending on what your situation is. Well, we really only have access to one because, as you can see in the parentheses, Barrier of Gold is in the Royal Capital. Flame Protect Me is in the mountaintops of the Giants. Golden Lightning Fortification is in the crumbling Farum Azula, it's like a mini zone. I think it's tucked away, or its access point is in the mountaintops of the Giants, but it is kind of its own zone. Lord's Divine Fortification is offered also. It's given to you by Sir Gideon Offner, but not until after you've defeated Melania. And as far as I know, we're kind of a long ways away from fighting her. Golden Vow, we can get this. This is in the Mount Gelmir area. So once again, let me unlock my display for you. Mount Gelmir is, I think it's this area right here. And so if my back entrance into the Volcano Manor doesn't work, or it only goes so far and then it kind of walls us off, I believe that this is the primary front entrance. And here's a bridge right here. So I have an alternative method to get into there. But anyway, that is where we will find the Golden Vow incantation. That's going to allow us to put a different, that's why we can put that other ash, Prayerful Strike, onto Great Stars, is because we have the incantation for Golden Vow, and that's a nice incantation. It buffs offensive and defensively for both you and your summons. And any part, like if you work with friends online and stuff like that, it'll work for them too. From what I hear on the video, or on various videos, multiple videos. All right, Flame, grant me strength. That's in Caelid. We're not doing Caelid, so we're not going to have access to that yet. Blessings, boon. We can buy this at the Church of Vows for 4,000 runes. And heal, you can buy it from Brother Corn, but I messed up and I didn't get this from him before he left the round table in my playthrough. I pushed the quest forward, he left, but fortunately, once again unlocking you and looking here at this map of Altus Plateau, he is located, or he's supposed to be, right about here. So that's an area we're going to be passing whenever we go on our way to get to Prayerful Strike. And actually, I think it's more likely that we'll come down here and then double. I think I came in up here. And that's how we'll do it. But anyway, he's right about here. Supposed to be. We'll find out if I'm right or not. And I can buy it from him. So I'll need, I don't know how much that's going to cost. I'll need a couple thousand more, but we'll probably earn that on our way to him. Let's see. Next, and this is the last part right here. The Tree Sentinel armor set. You look at these stats. This is fantastic, but it's 45 weight, so I'm going to get it into my inventory. I don't know how soon I'll be able to actually wear everything, but this is acquired at Oriza Hero's Grave, and I believe that if I can access this point here by getting into here, this area, I think it's called Outside the Capital or something like that, that I will also be able to come down and make it to here. I don't know absolutely for certain, but it looks that way. And so we can pick up the Tree Sentinel armor set as well. And then that's going to do it for episode 1. Actually, as I'm looking at this, we're already at 25 minutes. And so that only leaves me about a half hour more for video play. This might be a long episode. We'll have to find out. I don't know yet. I haven't gone in and done the playthrough part. But I am going to go ahead and shut things down, and I'll see you guys in game.